3 men, Israel Lama, a patched member of the Headhunters MC, Nathan Tuaiti, a patched King Cobras member, and Jade Jerome, have pleaded guilty in the High Court at Auckland to charges related to the kidnapping and prolonged torture of a man in May 2023. The incident was triggered after the victim inappropriately touched a woman at a central Auckland nightclub, who was later revealed to be Lama's partner. After the nightclub incident, the victim was approached by Lama and several others around 4 that morning in the car park. During the heated exchange, he denied the allegations and argued with the group, but ultimately agreed to check the CCTV footage with them. Suspecting something wasn't right, he quietly passed his phone and bracelet to a friend for safekeeping. He was told he'd be taken out back to check the footage, where the CCTV monitor was supposedly kept, but the moment he stepped outside, the plan changed. A car door slammed, hands grabbed him, and within seconds, he was forced into a vehicle and driven off into the dark to a property in Helensville, which was notoriously linked to the Headhunters. What followed was not just a kidnapping, it was the beginning of a calculated and sadistic ordeal. Over the course of several harrowing hours, the victim was subjected to a campaign of prolonged, deliberate torture, each act more brutal than the last. He was stripped of his dignity, his freedom, and nearly his life, as the attackers unleashed a torrent of cruelty that seemed designed not just to punish, but to break him completely. Once the group arrived at the Helensville property, the nightmare truly began. The victim was stripped naked and tied to a camping chair using electrical cords. Lama grabbed a Makita power drill and with chilling intent, began boring deep holes into the man's leg while Tuaiti and Jerome held him down. But that was only the beginning of the torment. A knife was heated over a gas flame until it glowed red, then Lama pressed it against the victim's chest and face, searing his skin before carving into his flesh. The group laughed as they beat him with a metal pole, so relentlessly that the pole bent from the force of the blows. Then came the boiling water. Lama poured it over the man's chest and genitals as the others jeered and encouraged the cruelty. There was no escape. He was whipped with his own belt and at one point, lifted off the ground by the neck until he began to choke. During a brief pause in the assault, others took over as guards, introducing themselves as former Bloods who had since joined the Headhunters. The victim was not allowed to put on any clothes, left naked, humiliated, and helpless. When Lama returned, the brutality resumed. He whipped the man again, this time lacing the abuse with vile racial slurs and grotesque references to slavery, all while the others watched and laughed. Eventually, Lama demanded $20,000 in exchange for the man's release. Desperate and broken, the victim offered to work off the debt. Before releasing him, they fed him Chinese food, forcing him to eat with his hands, then made him shower, dressed him, and dumped him back in central Auckland. Lama gave a deadline of June 2nd for the cash. Despite suffering catastrophic injuries, including burns so severe they required skin grafts, the victim told no one. It wasn't until police visited the hospital on an unrelated matter and saw his condition that the horrific truth began to surface. Soon after, the full horror of what had happened exploded into the open. As soon as the investigation was launched, police wasted no time. Within days, they tracked down and arrested the accused men, delivering a swift and forceful response to what was becoming one of the most disturbing cases of vigilante violence Auckland had seen in years. But the arrests were only the beginning. As detectives began combing through the evidence, they stumbled upon multiple videos of the torture itself, proudly posted by Lama on his now deleted Instagram account, ominously named Torturous88. After they learned that the police had found ample evidence, all 3 men, Israel Lama, Nathan Tuaiti, and Jade Jerome, have now pleaded guilty in the High Court at Auckland. Each faces a maximum sentence of 14 years behind bars for their roles in what prosecutors have described as an act of calculated and sadistic violence. A 4th man, Ricky Harder, also pleaded guilty in October 2024. His sentencing is scheduled for later this month. This wasn't just street justice, it was methodical and merciless torture. And now the justice system is preparing to respond. As of May 15, 2025, no sentencing date has been confirmed for Lama, Tuaiti, or Jerome. Justice Timothy Brewer is presiding over the case, and dates are expected to be set in the coming weeks. What remains to be seen is whether the punishment will truly match the horror of the crime. However, it will be interesting to see just how long these men are locked away for. Whatever the case, we will keep you updated. The Headhunters Motorcycle Club is one of New Zealand's most notorious outlaw motorcycle club, with a history that stretches back to 1967. Originally formed as a street gang in Glen Innes, the group later evolved into a structured motorcycle club in 1985. By 1996, they were incorporated as a legal society, a move seen by many as a strategic effort to legitimize aspects of their operations. The Headhunters have grown significantly over the decades, expanding their reach throughout the North Island with active chapters in West Auckland, Northland, Wellsford, and Wellington. Despite the image of brotherhood and loyalty that motorcycle clubs often promote, the Headhunters are widely regarded by law enforcement as a highly organized criminal syndicate. Their members have been linked to serious offenses including methamphetamine distribution, money laundering, firearms trafficking, and violent assaults. One of the defining characteristics of the Headhunters is their centralized leadership model. Unlike many other bikie clubs that operate under a loose federation of chapters, the Headhunters maintain a strict hierarchy with their main headquarters on Marua Road in Helensville. This facility has become symbolic of their power and influence, both within gang circles and the wider criminal underworld. Their president, Wayne Doyle, has been a key figure in the club's expansion and criminal enterprises, often described as a shrewd and strategic leader. In a landmark decision in August 2024, the High Court of New Zealand ruled to seize nearly $15 million in gang assets, including the Helensville clubhouse, luxury cars, and bank accounts, citing strong evidence that these assets were derived from crime. The ruling was seen as a major victory for police where they successfully dismantled part of a club's financial empire. Today the Headhunters remain a significant focus of police surveillance and public concern. While some members claim they are just motorcycle enthusiasts with a strong sense of community, the gang's extensive criminal history tells a different story. The New Zealand government continues to increase legal pressure on gangs like the Headhunters, using both criminal charges and civil forfeiture laws to disrupt their operations and reduce their influence on communities. If you're looking for more thrilling and edgy bikie updates, don't hesitate, whack that subscribe button, spread and share the video, hit that like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks or buy us a coffee to show some love. Your support keeps us going and the channel thriving, especially since most of our videos aren't monetized due to all the crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care. Wu-Tang.